Elite Facts presents
10 Facts about the Yakuza.
10.
Once they've joined the Yakuza, new recruits are required to take a subservient role to the more experienced members. The initiation ritual they must go through in order to join the Yakuza involves a ceremony based around an alcoholic beverage known as Sakazuki Gotu, also known as sake. The recruit is required to sit opposite his oyabun, who is also known as father. The newcomer is only given a small portion of sake, whereas his oyabun has their cup filled to the brim, thus reflecting their status and rank within the Yakuza.
9.
It's a known fact that Yoshioka Kodama became the very first Yakuza godfather after he united the several factions within its crime ring. It wasn't until after his involvement in a number of scandals, including the Lockheed scandal, that Kodama became the target of an assassination attempt by film actor Mitsuyasu Maeno, who tried to fly a private aircraft into Kodama's house in kamikaze fashion. However, Maeno's assassination attempt was a failure. It's said that Kodama operated as the organization's godfather from the 1950s up until the 1970s. Kodama lived until the age of 73. He died in his sleep, and an autopsy showed that it was a stroke that ultimately took his life.
8.
Every 90s kid knows about Super Nintendo, an amazing console that really popularized gaming, helping to turn it into the juggernaut industry that it is today. When the Super Nintendo Entertainment System was launched in Japan in 1990, at the request of the government, Nintendo scheduled their ordered consoles to be shipped at night. The reason for this was that so they could reduce the risk of potential robbery by the Yakuza, who considered the consoles to be a very valuable commodity. Pretty smart move on the part of Nintendo and the government.
7.
It's said that the Yakuza are considered to be the true heirs to the samurai. The reason for this theory is because both are organized as strong hierarchical systems based on honor and subservience, and both regard violence as an effective way to get things done. You can also see the obvious comparisons between them when it comes to using melee weaponry, as both their weapons of choice is the katana. Not to mention that both have a strong sense of tradition, as well as a lot of pride in what they do. It makes a lot of sense when you look at the facts, similarities, and side-by-side comparisons.
6.
It's been reported that immediately after World War II, the number of Yakuza members had increased drastically. It's been said that there were around 184,000 members at that time, the most members ever recorded to have been in the Yakuza at one point. After the end of the Second World War, American troops who occupied Japan reportedly saw the Yakuza as the biggest threat against their own forces.
5.
The Yakuza would often engage in a unique form of Japanese extortion that's very much different from the Italian mafia's extortion techniques. This method is known as sokeya, a specialized form of protection racket. Instead of harassing small businesses, the Yakuza would instead focus their attention on harassing stockholders' meetings of a larger corporation. They simply scare the ordinary stockholder with the mere presence of Yakuza operatives, who obtain the right to attend the meetings by making small purchases of stock.
4.
A lot like biker gangs in the United States who participate in numerous acts of charity, the Yakuza also engage in relief efforts to help people affected by natural disasters. They've played a huge part in helping with the relief efforts following major earthquakes and tsunamis, including Tohoku in 2011 and Kobe in 1995. There are several reasons for these charitable actions by the Yakuza. First, they know what it's like to have to fend for yourself, and they can sympathize with those forced to do so. Also, they're considered outcasts and dropouts from society, so providing this type of help shows people that gangsters and criminals can sometimes be nice people.
3.
The Yakuza are very well known for several bizarre rituals, and Yubitsumi is probably the most well-known of these rituals. It requires a member of the group to cut off one of their little fingers as a form of penance or apology. The origin of this ritual stems from the traditional way of holding a Japanese sword. It's said that the removal of the finger weakens a person's sword grip, making him rely more on the group for protection, plus reducing individual action. If that's what they do when punishing their own, we wouldn't want to get on their bad side.
2.
It's a well-known fact that the Yakuza have always been involved in politics in Japan. It's said that a number of high-profile politicians, including some ministers and even prime ministers, have been proven to be linked with the organization. With or without having people placed in positions of power within the government, the Yakuza still have a direct influence on them when it comes to creating or adjusting laws, as they'll use their extortion techniques in order to get their own way. Politicians, criminals, they're all the same.
1.
So, as it turns out, the Yakuza is technically an international criminal syndicate, as they are not only active in Japan, but they are also active in the United States. It's been reported that Yakuza members are known to operate in such cities as Los Angeles, San Francisco, Seattle, Los Angeles, Arizona, Virginia, Chicago, and New York City. That being said, however, most of their criminal activity is relegated to Hawaii for the simple reason that it serves as a midway station when smuggling drugs and firearms between Japan and mainland America. Other than that, their criminal activities in other parts of America are mainly centered around drug dealing and organized gambling rings, with the main gambling activity being drift racing. Hey Yakuza, thanks for inspiring the Fast and Furious films.
Don't forget to like us and subscribe for more Elite Facts.